So how about that new Weezer single? So yeah, Weezer obviously came out with a new single very recently here. And, excuse me, a lot of you guys wanted me to tackle it, which I can understand. I mean, I've devoted so much time to Weezer already as it is, that it would only make sense, I guess. And hey, I'm glad you guys want to hear my thoughts on it. I'm glad that you would want to hear that. That's cool. I appreciate that. But here's the thing. I am so busy at the moment with so many other different projects. The first episode of I Love This Song is literally, like, this close to being finished. Like, that will, hopefully, if this doesn't set me back too far, that will actually probably be out by the end of this week. If not next week, but that'll be out super soon. I have my first Patreon quickie coming up. That's something else I've been working on, and I also have more critical condition videos that I have down the pipeline, plus I have another catch-up quickie in the works. I've begun scripting on my next full episode. Guys, I have way too much on my plate to just devote to one song, so I figured, since you guys really, really want to see this, I mean, seriously, this is one of the most requested songs I've ever gotten. This is one of the most requested videos I've ever gotten, period, on anything. So, like, seriously, the amount of requests I got for this were staggering. But since you guys really want to see it, I figured I'd at least whip up something like this. This is just going to be a vloggy, like, really off the cuff. I don't have a script. I don't even really have notes in front of me. I'm just going to talk about the track in just a freeform style, which is not my usual style. I usually have a script to go off of, so I don't know, forgive me if this is a little rambly, a little disjointed, but you guys wanted to hear my thoughts, so I'll do my best. And forgive me if there are a lot of jump cuts in this too, because I am recording this with my DSLR, and I can only shoot footage for 10 minutes at a time, and like I said, I want to try to cut out the more rambly, incoherent bits, you know. Like I said, I usually have a goddamn script. I am no good at working off the cuff. So yeah, the song, Thank God for Girls. What do I think? Well, I like the instrumentation. I mean, really, it's not bad from a pure instrumental standpoint. It isn't terrible or anything. It's, you know, the guitars are, you know, fairly nice. You know, there's a little bit of lead riffing in there. You know, some nice, just power chordy arrangements. You know, your typical Weezer fare. No solos, nothing terribly crazy or flashy. Patrick Wilson's doing a good job on the drums. The beat he keeps is, you know, pretty tight. He keeps, you know, his work very, you know, it's a very bouncy, a very jumpy song. It's got a nice tempo and a nice rhythm to it. And Patrick, you know, he's doing a good job on the drums. I did notice that was something I really, really enjoyed about it. And the guitars and everything else, I'd say they're serviceable. There's nothing too flashy, there's nothing mind-blowing. This isn't Return to Ithaca or anything like that, but it's a serviceable Weezer song. It sounds pretty much like it sounds like it could have come off of Everything Will Be Alright in the End. More like a B-side to Everything Will Be Alright in the End. Trust me, we'll get to that. But yeah, musically, the song is fine. I'd say it's about middle of the road. Weezer, like, you know, it's not their best, but it's certainly far, far from their worst. It's good. It's well arranged. Even the vocals, the vocals, not so much the lyrics, but the vocals are well executed. You know, Rivers has some nice harmonies, and when the verses fit into the structure of the music, they sound okay vocally. So yeah, musically, from a straight instrumentation standpoint, I don't have any qualms necessarily. It's an okay track in that respect. Maybe not mind-blowing, but certainly solid. But that's not what we're here to talk about, is it? That's not really the reason you want my opinion on it, is it? Yeah. let's talk about what we're here to talk about. Oh my god, those lyrics are terrible. Like, fucking wow, man. Just. Oh. Creepy Rivers is back. Isn't that a shame? Like, oh god. Like, we haven't seen Creepy Rivers. Not even really since Hurley. Not since Ratitude, really. There was, Hurley did have, oh, that one song. Where's My Sex? But even that was more just kind of a, tee hee, aw shucks, ain't I a kidder sort of moment. It wasn't, like, genuinely weird or creepy. It was just kind of, it was more tongue-in-cheeky than anything. This is, yeah, I'd say this is pretty much full creepy. I thought we got rid of Creepy Rivers, I really did, but maybe it's just something he has to get out of his system every once in a while. Just, he has to throw those fucky curveballs and make us all scratch our heads and worry about his sanity just to satiate his own ego or something. I don't know, but these lyrics are weird, guys. Like, really fucking weird. Like, this song goes to some weird-ass places. Like, it starts off, the girl in the pastry shop with a net in her hair is making a cannoli for you to take on your hiking trip. Okay, cool. In the woods with your bros that you've known since second grade. Okay, so we went from a pastry shop and we're already in the woods on a camping trip? Okay. We're kind of moving at 1,000 miles an hour here, but whatever. Okay, I'm still engaged. And you may encounter dragons or ruffians and be called upon to employ your testosterone? Okay, raise your hand if you've ever seen a dragon in the woods. Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Okay, so we've flown off the rails, but we haven't gone too nutty with this yet. Let's see what else we have on here. To employ your testosterone in a battle for supremacy and access to females? Access to females? What? Access to females. The wording of that is really weird. Like, access to females. Like how you would access special DLC by pre-ordering a game or something. Like accessing the super dickhole gun in Call of Duty 48, fuck you, nah. Like, access to females. Like, Rivers, you realize women aren't DLC, right? Weirdness aside, the song does kind of get back on track. It goes on to say about, you receive cuts and bruises in your fight, and you'll require band-aids and ointments and shit. And, when you come home from the battle, your girl's gonna be there, and she's gonna heal you and make you feel alright. Okay, now we kind of have our theme here. It's, it's one of those kind of ain't love grand kind of things, Oh, when life's tough, my baby's there for me. Thank God for girls. At least that's what the first verse kind of sets us up for. I don't know, even in that last half, there's the line, she'll be there waiting for you with a fire in her eyes, and a big fat cannoli to shove in your mouth. I'm sorry, that imagery is really specific. Paging Dr. Freud? Paging Dr. Freud, hello? And the chorus kicks in, and it's fine. Just thank God for girls from Tennessee to LA, just shout out to all the females, you awesome, or whatever. I mean, it's fine. It's a fine chorus. It's, nothing wrong with it. The post-chorus, again, we get weird. She's so big, she's so strong, she's so energetic in her sweaty overalls. This was written in an hour, wasn't it? Again, sweaty overalls, that's a really specific fetish. Not that I'm one to judge, but why do they have to be sweaty? The song so far has its weird moments, but on the whole, it isn't bad yet. It's another goofy Weezer song. It's Rivers expressing that bizarre sense of humor that he has, and I don't know, when done well, it's not bad by any means. I mean, not to say that Rivers can't do it. He's done it before, but I mean, like, we haven't gotten into really crazy territory yet. Despite one or two weird, off-putting things, we haven't completely crossed over into bonkers. Verse 2 takes care of that for us, though. I'm so glad I got a girl to think of. Aw, isn't that sweet? Even though she isn't mine. I think about her all day and all the night. It's enough to know that she's alive. Okay. I carved her name into all the trees, sang a song down on one knee, looking at the underwear page of the Sears catalog like when I was 14?
Cause I got a hot date tonight. Odd date. Dinner with friends. Dinner alone. Watching TV alone. Alright. I'm gonna sit at home and ogle the ladies in the Victoria's Secret catalog. Sears catalog.
This is some straight up stalkery shit. This song had a perfectly decent setup. Hey, you know, sometimes life is hard, but my baby loves me, so thank God for girls. Aren't they great? Yay. That could have worked. That could have made a great Weezer song. You know, there's certainly nothing wrong with that, but, why? Why did it have to go in this direction? With the girl that isn't there? And carving names into all the trees, and the Sears catalog? Like, ugh. It's creepy. It's very, very creepy and weird, and look, I know this is Rivers just being goofy, and like I said, it's that trademark Cuomo bizarre sense of humor, but just because you're laughing doesn't mean we are. The song has a theme set up, but it does a complete 180 by the second verse. At first it makes it seem like, oh, he has a girl, and they're doing just fine, and he really loves her, but now it turns out they're either not actually together, or she might be imaginary. We probably all had that imaginary friend, or, you know, my girlfriend lives in Canada. Some of us probably, you know, pulled that shit in, like, middle school or whatever. But, again, Rivers, you're in your 40s. Dude. It's just creepy, okay? This is shit you could have pulled off back on Pinkerton and back on Green Album, and this is shit you could have pulled off in your 20s because it was quirky and weird and goofy. But, dude, you're in your 40s. You're married. Dude, you can't pull this shit anymore, man. It's not convincing. That's the thing, like, when you sing about shit like this, it comes off as disingenuous. We know you're full of shit. You're married. You have kids. You have a family life. When you're singing about being a lonely kid and nobody likes me and girls you won't touch me, dude, you're one of the biggest rock stars in the freaking world. And you've been that way for years. We are not buying it anymore. That's the thing. When Rivers does stuff like this now, like, I can understand getting away with something like this on, like, Across the Sea, or, you know, the Sweater Song, or stuff like that. I can understand it because Rivers was, you know, a geeky 20-year-old who had just probably come out of an awkward teenage phase, and it made sense for him to reminisce on that. The fact that he's still doing it now, and still writing shit like this now, it means that he's either just being disingenuous, and he's just writing it because I'm supposed to write freaky shit, so it's imaginary, I masturbate, he's kind of... He's either just writing it because, you know, out of a sense of weird tradition, Or he's just writing it to pander to people because that's what he thinks his audience wants. Rivers, coming from one particular facet of your audience, I can say no. We don't want this. We really don't. Super don't. Extremely super don't. Or he's writing shit like this because he actually feels that way, which I doubt this is the case. I sincerely don't think this is true. But that's the only other explanation, is he sincerely feels and thinks this way. And that's really just sad. You know? Even if he meant it to be funny, to be haha, to be, hey, look at how geeky and weird, tee and I stink. No, dude. It either comes off, you either come off like you're full of shit, or like you're really sad. And I'm not cool with either of those, dude. Come on, you're better than this. Weezer is better than this. Cuomo is certainly a better lyricist than this. I mean, my God. And the thing is, the song just completely flies off the rails by the bridge. God took a rib from Adam, ground it up in a centrifuge machine, mixed it with cardamom and cloves, microwaved it on the popcorn setting? I'm not seeing that in here. Lots of, like, murder and incest and other stuff, but nothing about centrifuge machines or microwaves. Well, maybe that's like the New Living Translation or something. And then it goes on and on about Adam complaining about how it hurt getting his rib taken out of him, and he goes on like a weird rampage, setting forest fires and fucking with the wildlife. God smites him with loneliness. This song started out with a guy in a bakery looking at a girl with a cannoli. God breaks his heart in two. Adam weeps and wails in misery, looks up to the sky and says, "Thank God." Thank God for girls? You know, that's the thing. The song starts off decently enough. Like, this could have been an okay track. Even if Weezer wanted to be weird and kind of goofy with it, they could have done that. They could have gotten away with it. You know, if they just stuck to the general premise. You know, if they just stuck... Basically, the song is fine until the second verse kicks in. Like, if the song had just stuck to the kind of verse one format and just kind of, you know, went on the day in the life, you know. Like the guy goes, you know, he fights dragons and shit in the woods, which, okay, whatever. But he comes home and his lady's there and he's taking care of him and, oh, hey, thank God for girls. You know, the song should have been entirely structured like that. Verse 2 should have been, oh, you know, I had to go to work today and kick a werewolf in the balls, and oh man, traffic sucks. Oh, but there's my girl with another phallic object shoved in my mouth hole. Oh, isn't she great? Thank God for girls. You know, it could have worked. It could have worked if they'd stuck to it, but this song just flies off the rails so fast and so quick. Lyrically, this song feels like a joke that nobody but Rivers is in on. I mean, does anybody else get that feeling? I mean, I feel like Rivers is just sitting in his mansion or in his recording studio somewhere, just laughing his ass off at guys like me who, you know, are sitting there scratching our heads and making videos to put on the internet about how this video made us scratch our heads, and I hope it was worth it, man, because I don't know what the fuck you're on about. And that's the thing, at first I was so bewildered by how many people wanted me to review this track. I mean, when Everybody Needs Salvation came out, a lot of you guys requested that I do that, but I said, no, it's more of a B-side, and I don't usually review single songs. And you guys seem to be pretty cool with that. And, you know, other stuff came and went, and I don't know, like, there wasn't the kind of explosion of requests that this specific song got. And having listened to it and watched the video, which I'll put like a link somewhere, but yeah, the video certainly doesn't help dissuade the weirdness of this in any way. But yeah, after I watched the video and heard the song, I realized exactly why you guys wanted me to tackle this, because this is a bad sign. Like, this is Weezer getting into bad habits again. I mean, don't misinterpret me. I know it's not supposed to be serious. I know I'm not supposed to take every word literally. But the thing is, okay, it's a joke song. It's supposed to be goofy and funny and silly. But if I'm sitting here and I haven't laughed once and it doesn't feel charming and goofy and silly, if it doesn't come off like that, then that's a swing and a miss. That's a strike. That doesn't work. Just because you attempted a joke doesn't mean you succeeded at a joke. And like I said, this song just feels like a joke that only Rivers gets. I feel like even the other guys in the band are probably looking at each other like, whatever, it's a paycheck. Thank God for girls, yeah. And to make matters even weirder, Genius.com actually has some... It has the lyrics in here for Thank God for Girls. Not to mention, it has annotations for certain lyrics by Rivers himself. Or at least they're attributed to someone named Rivers Cuomo. It could be a fake, but according to a few of the articles that I looked up on this, they appear to be legit. That might get debunked later on. But yeah, apparently Rivers went in and actually provided some annotations. They don't help matters at all. The thing about the Genius stuff, though, is, like I said, it hasn't been, like, 100% validated yet. So I don't know if it's genuine, but it's go onto Genius, look up this song, and click on the annotations that come up in the lyrics. It adds a whole nother layer of mystery to this, which I'm hoping they're fake. I'm hoping they're not genuine. Because, damn, it adds a whole nother layer of batshittery to these lyrics. I mean, I feel like I'm harping on the lyrics so much, but guys, that's really what makes this song suck so badly, to me, at least. And that's the thing, in certain places, like, especially, like, with the dragon and ruffians versus where he mentions, son of a bitch, I knew that was going to happen. And that's the thing, even if it is a joke, it's not a joke told well. When it comes to jokes, no, you don't get points for trying. It's either funny or it's not. And this, personally, I did not find it funny. I just found it weird and confusing and baffling. And it sucks because, like, it started off as a decent enough song. Like, if they just kept on pace and if Rivers had just stuck to his lyrical theme instead of going off into batshit bonkers land, this could have been solid. This could have been okay. As it stands, yeah, I'm probably not going to want to play this song again anytime soon. But here's the weirdest thing of all. Weirder than the lyrics, weirder than everything else. There's kind of no reason for this song to exist. Like, why is this a single? Seriously, this isn't from Everything Will Be Alright in the End. It might be a B-side. That's what this song ultimately feels like. It feels like a B-side, or something that got left on the cutting room floor. This does not feel like a full-fledged Weezer track. Like, especially the way the lyrics just, like, Rivers kind of, when Rivers doesn't write a good verse, one of the tricks he'll use is to just cram a lot of his lyrics into the verse, regardless of how well they flow, or regardless of the rhyming structure. Like, we see that, especially on, like like the dragon and ruffian verse, and like some of the, especially a lot of the stuff in the second verse, like he'll just spout off, just go on and on these rambles, like, and then the dragon and then the friends went on a hacking trip and killed a bunch of ruffians, and I stood him with a sword because I'm a big tough guy with testosterone, and I beat him up real good, and I get lots of girls come sexy motherfucker, and I beat him, he exploded, and he turned into a bunch of golden XP from a party.
Rivers, the song is over.
It feels slapdash. It feels like it was hastily written, like hastily constructed, and I don't... Again, this has like B-side or demo or like fleshed out demo track written all over it, so why release it as a single? I mean, I guess it makes sense as far as from like an album standpoint. I mean, they've already released like, what, 5 singles from Everything Will Be Alright? I guess maybe you don't want to go too crazy with it, but that's the thing. There isn't an upcoming album that I know of. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but there isn't like an upcoming album or an EP. This song isn't attached to anything, not that I can think of. I mean, is this like attached to like an upcoming movie or a TV show or something? I sincerely hope not. God help that poor show if it is. Oy. It's a weird B-side that somehow got elevated to full single status. So much so that it even gets its own video. Again, that video is really weird. Look it up if you're bold, but yeah, these come into play. You'll never want to eat one again, I can tell you that much. Was this song really such a gem that you had to unearth it and polish it and put it out there separate, in apropos of nothing else that you've done? You just said, hey, we're gonna put this out there. It's just so good it needs to stand on its own. Not true. The flip side of that coin is this song doesn't really matter. Like, at all. It's not on an album, so it's not tarnishing the rest of the feel and flow of an, you know, if this were on an album, this track would feel weird as hell. This would throw me out of rhythm to the rest of the album. Like if they put this on Everything Will Be Alright in the end, this would be a huge fucking gear in the wrenches. Gear in the works. Like I said, I usually have a script. Like this would be really jarring and really unsettling. I would have to take points off for this if this were on Everything Will Be Alright in the end. Like this might knock that album down from a 5 to like a 4. Like, yeah, the first thing I would say if this were on an album is, should have left that on the cutting room floor. The first thing I'm saying as a single is, should have left that on the cutting room floor. So, yeah, should have left that on the cutting room floor. But as a result, I also don't think we have anything to worry about from Weezer. With it being a single like this, it's not going to be something that tarnishes their legacy or, you know, ruins any albums or any future upcoming works. It's just this weird little thing that kind of stands on its own. And we're just kind of just going to have to sit there and deal with it for a while. Weezer will move on to other things, and we'll forget about this track in no time. So it's not like this affects anything. This song is weird and stupid and crazy and bananas, and it makes me feel uncomfortable, and I don't really like it. But that's all it is. This song is a fart in the wind, you know? It passes by you, it makes you feel really terrible, and it smells bad, and you're just, oh, God. But it gets caught up in the breeze, and it moves on, and it's basically a few minutes of discomfort. That's what this song is. A few minutes of discomfort. And a few minutes of discomfort is a lot better than an hour of discomfort. We all know Weezer is capable of that, so, you know, almost better that they get it out of their system, like now, between albums, so that they don't have to include that shit on proper releases, you know? put that shit off to the side, for the really hardcore fans to, dig up if they're brave. It does kind of suck that Rivers still feels the need to write these goofy, stupid, immature little diatribes. Like I said, the dude is 40. Like, we're not buying it anymore. It's not fun. It's not cute. It's just kind of weird and off-putting and kind of sad. It can be sad. It's just, I don't know, that joke isn't funny anymore. You really need to stop telling it. It's like that friend who, insists that he tells his version of the Aristocrats at every party you go to. And it was super funny and cool in college, but now you're like 35, everyone has kids, everyone's moved on, they have careers, and everyone's basically an adult now, but that guy still shows up to the party and insists on telling his stupid Aristocrats joke. Same thing over and over again. And, the nun falling into the giant crock pot full of dildos. Yeah, okay, that was funny back in 1996, but dude, Can you not tell that in front of my kids? Seriously, my kid heard that. Dude, come on. When Rivers writes songs like that, that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like a joke he really needs to stop telling, because it isn't funny anymore. But, like I say, does this harm anything? Does this scar the legacy of Weezer in any particular way? No, I don't think so. It's a single. And it's a single that's not attached to any kind of album, so we'll all have our yucks, or, whatever. We'll feel the way we feel about it, however we feel, and then in a few months it'll pass away, and we'll probably forget all about it. And that will be that. If I had to give it a rating, which I don't usually like to do that with individual songs, I like to, I'm an album guy. I like to judge things as they interconnect with other pieces, but since this is a single, if I had to give it any kind of rating, I'd probably give it a 1.5 out of 5. Maybe a 2. I'll be generous and say maybe a 2. Like the instrumentation and parts of the first verse and the chorus even aren't terrible. They're certainly listenable. But the song just flies so far off the goddamn rails. It's hard to sit through. It's one of those Weezer songs that is literally hard to sit through. It's like Can't Stop Partying, or, for me, Beverly Hills, or Girl Got Hot, or like those songs that you just kind of roll your eyes and just go, ugh. Really, Rivers? Okay. Like, you aren't mad or even outraged, but you're just like, alright, just come on, just get it out of your system, yeah. Sweaty overalls, yeah. Certainly isn't the weirdest thing I've heard you say. And, the instrumentation certainly isn't bad. That's the thing, the instrumentation does kind of save this track a little, but I'm not going higher than 2. I mean, this song is pretty bad, even by bad Weezer standards, but is it the absolute worst thing they've done? I don't think so, but then again, Weezer has pulled out some pretty fucking atrocious shit, so I don't know, I wouldn't, again, the song did, just come out, so I don't know, maybe more stuff will come to light about it over time, or maybe it'll grow on us. I kind of doubt that, but it might as time progresses. But guys, yeah, I mean, I understand why you wanted to hear my thoughts on this, because this song is really, really pretty bad. And I think a lot of you just wanted to hear me say it. Because I'm certainly not I'm the guy who hates the shit out of Beverly Hills, and everybody loves Beverly Hills, so I'm going to shoot you straight when it comes to Weezer, and, straight shooting on this, yeah, this is not a good song. Not their worst at all. But again, by Weezer standards, that's not saying a ton. Weezer has some pretty bad songs, and I'd say this is one of them. I'd say this is in kind of the pantheon of shit for them. Not dead center, not king shit of Shit Mountain, but it's in there. It's in the color guard of shit. What am I going on about? I'm sorry, guys. I usually have a script. So yeah, that just kind of wraps up my general thoughts. Again, forgive me if I've been really rambly, really kind of disjointed, and like I say, I usually work with a script. I usually take time to write something and construct my thoughts a lot more smoothly, but since I have so much other stuff I need to get done, I have so many other videos I need to put out, and I'm currently working on, I just didn't have time to, sit down and edit in special effects, and, I didn't have the time to devote a full episode's worth of material to this. It just would have taken way too much time. And like I said, I have other things coming down the pipeline. Like I said, the first episode of I Love This Song, expect that, like I said, sometime hopefully by the end of this week. Possibly next week if I get, caught up or I can't get to it. But, yeah, I Love This Song, that episode should be out this week. Hopefully the week after next, the Patreon Quickie, that was made possible by Josh Gilmore. Thanks again for your donation, buddy. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get that out by next week. I have more critical condition stuff coming down the pipeline, too, and I have other longer videos. The first episode of I Hate This Song I need to work on and get that finished. But yeah, guys, lots of videos down the pipeline. I just didn't have the time to devote something proper to this. So I hope this satiates, your desire to hear my thoughts on it, even though they're jumbled and not really put together terribly well, but that's more or less how I feel. But again, as I've said on this and pretty much any review I do, it's only my opinion. It's only my personal opinion. And of course, as the old saying goes, I'm Crash Thompson, and remember, the only opinion that really matters is your own. Cheers, guys.